Hi guys, my name is Tom and I'm the Tech Chap, and today I want to talk to you about my favourite ultra-wide monitors like this one. There are loads of fantastic 21:9 ultra-wide monitors on the market to suit your needs and importantly your budget. So let's get started with what I consider to be the ultimate ultra-wide monitor. It is of course the Acer Predator X34. 34 inches, 3440 by 1440, IPS panel, curved, 75Hz refresh rate, overclockable to 100, and support for NVIDIA G-Sync. It's pretty much the perfect monitor, but it doesn't come cheap. You are definitely paying a premium for the G-Sync, as the X34 costs about £950 or $1,400. Interestingly though, if you're not bothered about G-Sync or having an AMD graphics card and therefore want FreeSync, the Acer Predator XR34 is significantly cheaper at about £800 or $950. The only difference is G-Sync and FreeSync, and the fact that the cheaper one only supports a 75Hz refresh and it can't be overclocked. That's it. There really isn't a lot of difference. You're definitely paying a big premium for G-Sync. But while it may be expensive, if you do want the best of the best and have an NVIDIA graphics card to make use of the G-Sync technology, the Acer Predator X34 is the ultimate ultra-wide, although it will face strong competition from the similarly spec'd and priced Asus PG34HQ when it comes out in about February or March-ish 2016. Next up is this one, the LG34UC97. It's the one I have right here, I've been using it for months and I love it. 34 inches, 3440 by 1440, IPS, curved, and a 60Hz refresh rate. It's a great all-rounder. It doesn't have any of the adaptive sync technologies or even a higher refresh rate, but it's also about a third cheaper than the Acer X34 and about £600 or $900. I really like the look of it too. It's pretty classy and it would look great at home or even at the office on pretty much any desk. LG has actually introduced a slightly upgraded version of this one at this year's CES, the LG34UC98. It's very, very similar except for a new stand, and the 98 version supports FreeSync technology, so that's pretty much the only difference. If you want to save a bit of money though, you can opt for the non-curved version of one of these. That's the 34UM95, which is about £100 or $150 cheaper. What's really interesting though is that while there are a lot of ultrawides on the market, many of them have very similar specs. The Dell U3415W, the Samsung S34E790C, which uses a VA panel rather than IPS, and the AOC U3477PQU, to name just three, basically have the exact same specs as this LG, just with different styles. So they're all great alternatives if you don't fancy the LG, but since they are also similar in terms of specs and price, I thought I'd mention them all together, but they're all great options. My next monitor is the Samsung 29E790C. It's a bit smaller at 29 inches and does have a lower resolution, but it keeps the same great looking design, curve and VA panel of its bigger 34-inch brother. It's also about half the price at about £350 or $500. So not only is it a bit smaller, which I think will be a bit more suitable for most people and their desks, but the lower resolution will benefit gamers who perhaps don't have the most powerful PCs, as you aren't pushing as many pixels, so you will probably get higher frame rates. A great alternative to the Samsung is the LG 29UC97. Same size, same price, same spec, aside from using the IPS panel, but with a slightly different design. Both are great options and I think represent better bang for buck than some of these high-end premium ultra-wides. The smallest ultra-wides you can buy are 25 inches, and I personally found them a little bit too small, as the wide 21:9 aspect ratio just doesn't seem quite right, that they're vertically a bit sort of too short and a bit too wide. They look a bit odd, I think, on the desk. But if you do fancy one, the LG 25UM57 is a great option. It's ridiculously cheap at £160 or about $190. The 2560 by 1080 IPS non-curved monitor is sharper than equivalent 29 inches with the same resolution, as it has a higher pixel per inch density, and while it may not have all the bells and whistles of top ultra-wides like adaptive sync, high refresh rates, neither do monitors 3 times the price like this one I'm using. So if you're short on space or haven't got a great deal of money to spend or simply want the best bang for buck, the LG 25UM57 is a solid choice. Something to consider is getting the balance right between size and resolution and of course price. For example, the BenQ XR3501 sounds like a great option. It's 35 inches, 144Hz. The problem is it has a resolution of 2560 by 1080, which gives it a really low PPI of 79, which compares to 109 on this monitor. So though it's big, it's relatively cheap, it's got a high refresh rate, and it's probably a little bit better for gaming because you get higher frame rates, I wouldn't recommend it, as you'll probably be able to make out the individual pixels, so your images won't look that sharp or crisp on the screen. So these are all great monitors, but the question of which one you should buy really depends on what your main use for it's going to be. Is it mainly for work, gaming, or perhaps both? Also, of course, how much you're willing to spend, and do you have any particular company loyalties? G-Sync and curved features do add a considerable premium to the price as well, so that's worth bearing in mind. But if you do want the ultimate gaming ultrawide, I would recommend the Acer X34. If you want a good all-rounder, get the LG 34 UC97 like this, or one of the similar Dell, Samsung, or AOC monitors I mentioned earlier. In terms of size and resolution, if you're going to go for a bigger 34-inch one, make sure you do get one with a 3440 by 1440 res. If you want 25 or 29 inches, a lower res will be just fine. So this has been a roundup of the best ultra-wide monitors you can buy, well, what I think at least anyway. You can find links to all the monitors featured in this video in the description below, so go and check those out. Let me know which one is your favorite or the one you'd recommend in the comments below, or even tweet me at the Tech Chap. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you again right here on the Tech Chap.